Hey guys, it's Chris and Eric. We're back. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I'm still I'm still waking up, if you can believe it or not.
No, I believe it.
Yeah. Rough night. Neighbors threw a party that didn't end until the time I would normally wake up, and it just threw off everything in the house. Like the dog is like, I don't. Why do I feel this way? I was like, I get you. I understand.
All right. Well, we'll keep it short this week. We made up last week with a 2-hour episode. We can do a nice short one this week. So that way you can relax and go to sleep and do your thing. We had some fun last week though. We were talking about philosophical type topics.
Yes.
And I've got a fun topic for us this week. We'll go as long as we can go. There are multiple things that go on here. But my buddy Chris Decker has a book called Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs, written by a guy named Chuck Klosterman. And it had all these, like, really deep, like, philosophical type conversation topics in it. So I kind of want to just do that with you, because I think it'll be fun.
All right.
All right, so,
Before we get too far,
yeah.
I feel like we need to do a Cards Against Humanity
Oh my god.
on stream for
Yes.
people.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
That would be amazing. If the old Google Cards Against Humanity thing still exists, we can stream that if we can get enough people to play. I'll have to look into that. Google Hangouts. I don't know if that still exists or not. But
I
if it
honestly have no idea.
does, because that's how we,
Right?
we used to play it online all the time. And man, was that a good time. Yeah, we could do that. Check out the stream. The Super Nintendo stream's going really well. Well, I played a lot of crap recently, so the project's going. I wouldn't say it's going well. I want to play good games again. So far, of the first 16 games I've played, only 2 of them I want to revisit. Super Mario World, of course, and ActRaiser, which I was actually having fun with. And I want to get
I'm not
back.
sure what that is.
It's sort of like a God game, but it's also got side-scrolling action, and then like a town building mode too. And I kind of played both of them and had a lot of fun with it. And I realized this might be something I might want to play again. And it's got a sequel that comes later that I've heard is even better than the original. And I thought the original was pretty fun. So,
Hmm.
so I'll be looking into that. What do you got going on?
Um, Oddly enough, I've gotten really into PEVs or personal electric vehicles. Uh, I know you've heard stories of me getting that electric skateboard and stuff like that.
I've heard stories of you
And
falling off the electric skateboard.
yeah, and then outside of falling though, like it's really fun. It's really cool, and I've looked into a lot of other things.
Most things like
So
that are a lot more fun when you're not falling.
right.
Just for the record.
And then the way gas has been going, I was looking at getting like an actual bike because my job, and it sounds far, but we both know that 11 miles is not that far.
No.
So it's 11 miles away in one direction. So I could theoretically, with my skateboard all the way there, but I do not want to do that. I just because yes, it is fun. It is also very dangerous in Michigan roads. You know, so I'm thinking
How long would that
electric
take you to
bike.
do 11 miles on an electric skateboard?
Well, these things can do 30 miles an hour.
Okay.
So, like 20 something minutes, maybe? It'd literally be the same amount of time that it takes me to get there in car, which is wild to think about. Because I went, what I did was I went and I looked bike on Google Maps, and it'll show you like good bike paths,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it'll keep you out of main streets and stuff like that. And there's one that's a straight shot there that's basically 11 miles through parts of the city that I didn't know existed because they're bike paths. So I would probably take that. But going in a car, it is about 13 miles. So it's only 2 miles longer, but it would take me the same amount of time because I would have to wait in traffic, really. That's basically what it comes down to. The fucking traffic and the highway. And in this way, I don't even have to worry about it. Like if there was traffic, oh well, I'll just jump on a sidewalk. I'm on a bicycle. Like what are you gonna do? The bicycle can go anywhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So, how's Sick Minds of Matt and Eric going?
It's going. No, it's good. We haven't recorded yet this week. Yesterday we did Nerd Table. Then today I was doing this, and then I gotta like call them and like, hey, when do we actually have time together now?
That's the hardest
Adult
part.
life, you know.
Yeah. Adult life, adult friendships, adult everything. Too much adulting. Less adulting. More childlike fun. Well, that's why we're going to have some fun today. All right.
Yes.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off some of the stuff that's listed, and we'll just have a discussion about it. If it goes interestingly, we'll keep going, and if it turns out to be stupid, we'll stop and talk about other stuff. That's what we're good at. All right. You ready?
Yes.
Let's jump in. Let us assume you met a rudimentary magician. And let us assume he can do 5 simple tricks. He can pull a rabbit out of a hat, can make a coin disappear, turn the ace of spades into the joker card, and 2 others in similar vein. They're his only tricks he can't learn anymore. He can only do these 5. However, it turns out he's doing these 5 tricks with real magic. It's not an illusion. He can actually conjure the bunny out of the other, and he can move the coin through space. He's legitimately magical, but extremely limited in scope and influence. Would this person be more impressive than Albert Einstein?
To me, yes. I mean, Albert Einstein is a fucking genius, right?
Yeah.
And whatnot. But this man is literally breaking Einstein's theory in a cup. So, yes, he's definitely more interesting.
He's
Like,
more impressive, for sure.
He's more impressive. Yes, what he can do is not labeled as impressive, but if it is 100% magical, the fact that you can conjure a bunny.
Yeah. See, my thing is, I'm impressed, but at the same time, he's limited. He can do magic, but he can only do these extremely simple things. And all he's really going to be able to do with that is go on America's Got Talent and win. Or go on Penn and Teller and fool the judges.
You can go to starving countries, conjure bunny, here's a meal. Next area, conjure another bunny.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it. I didn't consider that.
You're looking at it too small, man. This man can solve fucking hunger.
This is why we're having this conversation. Okay. All right. That was a good one. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Let us assume a fully grown, completely healthy Clydesdale horse has his hooves shackled to the ground while his head is held in place with thick rope. He's conscious and standing upright, but he's completely immobile. Now let us assume that for some reason every political prisoner on Earth, as cited by Amnesty International, will be released from captivity if you can kick this horse to death in less than 20 minutes. You're allowed to wear steel-toed boots. Would you attempt this?
Okay, hold on. Let's. So, innocent horse.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting.
He's completely shackled, so he can't defend himself. But he is conscious, and he's also healthy and fully grown.
And then I'm kicking him to death for politicians?
For political prisoners.
Political prisoners.
Right.
Ooh, what a dilemma there.
Right?
Because I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could kill an animal.
So here's my thing. And you tell me how you feel about this. Maybe you'll agree with this. It says it would be every political prisoner on Earth, right?
Including the
Well, political prisoners are defined by their individual, what's the word I'm looking for? Incarceration. A political prisoner could technically be somebody who was imprisoned for terrorism. So, do I want to kick a horse to death to free political prisoners on all spectrums? Because it would be every single one of them.
Yeah, because it's a blanketed statement. So that would be a no.
So I wouldn't do it. Making it easier for me, I am not confident that even with steel-toed boots, I could successfully kick a horse to death. Maybe a squirrel. Not a horse.
Yeah, in 20 minutes, that's not happening.
I would be dead myself because I'd be exhausted. So I don't think this question's hard because I don't think I can do it. And not just morally, I don't think I can physically do it.
Yeah, I say both on that spectrum. Blanketed statement. And then even if it wasn't in a blanketed statement, I don't like... There has to be a better way than kicking a horse to death with steel-toe shoes.
Well, I'm going to have to just let everybody stay in prison then.
I mean, that sucks, but I didn't put you there, so...
But I also can't physically free them. So, yeah.
Be that one episode of Rick and Morty where Rick and Summer get all buff and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just start beating up everybody. Like the guy that's littering, the guy that's abusing his dog.
Yeah.
I love it. What would you do with that power? Same thing? Probably, yeah. All right. Here's another one. Let us assume there are 2 boxes on a table. In one box, there is a relatively normal turtle. In the other, Adolf Hitler's skull. You following me so far? Turtle, Hitler skull.
Okay. All right.
Okay, this is where we are right now.
This makes sense. All right.
If you select the turtle, you can't give it away, and you have to keep it alive for 2 years. If either of these parameters are not met, you will be fined $999 by the state. That's what happens if you choose the turtle.
Okay.
You can't get rid of it, you have to keep it alive, or you'll get fined. If you select Hitler's skull, you are required to display it in a semi-prominent location in your living room for the same amount of time, so that would be 2 years. Although you will be paid a stipend of $120 per month for doing so. Display of the skull must be apolitical, so you can't take a statement on it. Which option do you select? I'll let you go first, because I already know my decision.
Hitler skull.
Hitler's skull.
Yeah.
I have no issue displaying the actual skull of Adolf Hitler in my house and being paid for it.
Correct. I would top it off with, I would even tell people about it. I would put it to make sure everyone can fucking see it the moment they enter their house, and the moment they start to ask questions, they're like, don't worry about it. Just move on.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
That's Hitler's business. First of all, it says it's Hitler's skull, but how do you know it's Hitler? What on the skull
stays on there?
Yeah, okay, the stash, yeah. But what on the skull would identify it as Hitler? All they said was it was a skull. They didn't say it, that I had to say it was Hitler. I didn't have to put a Nazi cap on him. So, to me, it's a no-brainer. And that it's not like anything bad's going to happen to the turtle if I don't pick it.
Right.
So, I feel no guilt whatsoever. Okay, that one was easy.
Yeah.
I'll get paid money to have a skull on display. Give me a skull money right now and pay me, and I'll put the skull on display in the living room right now. All right. Genetic engineers at Johns Hopkins University have developed a so-called super gorilla. Though the animal cannot speak, it has a sign language lexicon of over 12,000 words and an IQ of almost 85, and most notably, a vague sense of self-awareness. Okay.
Okay.
Oddly, the creature, who weighs about 700 pounds, becomes fascinated by football. The gorilla aspires to play the game at its highest level and quickly develops the rudimentary skills of a defensive end. ESPN analyst Tom Jackson speculates that this gorilla would be borderline unblockable and would likely average 6 sacks a game, although Jackson considers the beast might be susceptible to counters and misdirection plays. Meanwhile, the gorilla has made it clear he would never intentionally injure any opponent. You are commissioner of the NFL. Would you allow this gorilla to sign with the Oakland Raiders?
Yes.
No, you even have to think about it.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Why? Because I think it'd be entertaining, and the animal's self-aware. And if we've already gotten to the point where we're considering, then why not?
Okay. Is there a rule in the... Well, you're the commissioner. Is there a rule that says the gorilla can't sign? I mean,
if there's a specific rule that says gorillas cannot play, first off, what the fuck?
First off, you're the
Why was
commissioner.
that
You can
in
change
there?
that rule.
And yeah, you can clearly change that rule.
Exactly. So here's my thing.
I feel like once a creature, animal, what, it doesn't matter. Once something becomes mildly intelligent and self-aware, it should be given rights.
Okay.
I feel like that is probably taking a little farther than what that message was trying to get across, but that's what I'm trying to get across.
If my cats were self-aware, I'd be terrified.
My cats are self-aware, but they're not mildly intelligent. So
Not going to argue.
yeah.
It's just cats for you. Okay. So my answer is a little different. Yes, I'm going to allow the gorilla to play, but it's not going to be a signing. It's going to be an experiment. It's going to be an attraction. We're going to see how it goes. If it seems like it's working well, we'll let it keep happening. If maybe get more of these gorillas out there who can play. If it's not working out, then we remove the gorilla from the game. That's how I would handle that. Oh boy. This one's going to be kind of funny. You meet your soulmate.
Okay.
However, there is a catch.
There always is.
Every 3 years, someone will break both of your soulmate's collarbones with a crescent wrench. And there's only one way to stop this from happening. You must swallow a pill that will make every song you hear for the rest of your life sound like it's being performed by the band Alice in Chains. When you hear Creedence Clearwater Revival on the radio, it will sound to your ears like it's being played by Alice in Chains. If you see Radiohead live, every one of the tunes will sound like it's being covered by Alice in Chains. When you hear a commercial jingle on TV, it will sound like Alice in Chains. If you sing to yourself in the shower, your voice will sound like deceased Alice vocalist Lane Staley performing a cappella, but it will only sound this way to you. Would you swallow the pill?
Would you swallow the pill?
They're just collarbones.
First off, why is that happening? Why is someone always after your collarbones? Every 3 years? How long?
This is a really tough dilemma because everybody expects the answer to be, of course I would take that sacrifice for my soulmate. But think about the mental torture you're going to go through, even if you like Alice in Chains. You're officially rooting music for yourself. Collarbones heal, and it's not the worst thing in the world for you to break. You have to look at it this way. You have to actually check, like, and I know people are going to be like, oh, this is horrible that you're going to let somebody who loves collarbones get broken, but you have to think about what we're talking about here. They're not breaking your hands. They're not irreparable. They're going to have to suffer this bone and this bone being broken and deal with it. and it's every 3 years, as opposed to you dealing with music the rest of your life. Now, to anybody else, that's going to be a very selfish decision. Very selfish decision. But put yourself in their shoes. What if we all had to make that decision? How many of us are going to ruin music for the rest of our lives? And how many of us are going to... you and I, could be the ones getting our collarbones broken. Let's flip the script for a minute. Someone's going to break my collarbones, so my soulmate has to suffer as a result.
Better question. Would you rather break your own collarbones or have everything sound like Alice in Chains?
See, now you got to put yourself...
on you. I guess it depends on the year.
Well, no, it would still be the same vocalist, but...
Well, yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, if the pill makes everything sound like Alice in Chains for 3 years.
So, since I'm going to make a selfish decision, I'm also going to make a selfless decision, too. If my soulmate has to make the decision, I don't want them taking the pill. I don't want them to suffer like that. Collarbones will heal in a couple of weeks, and it's once every 3 years. I can deal with that. Break my collarbones. It's fine. Gets me out of work for a little bit.
I guess.
Maybe I'll get on disability as a result of having very flail collarbones.
Just every fucking 3 years, your doctor's like, what the fuck's going on?
I got attacked by the guy with the wrench again. Well, can we arrest him?
Yes, but he'll be out within 3 years.
Another will take his place. I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't make somebody suffer for me. So, I would put up with it. Maybe that's not the right decision. I want to hear what people say in the comments about this. Maybe you think I'm a horrible person for thinking that way, but putting myself on the other side of the coin, that's fine. Get me out of work for a little bit. Bones heal, chick stick, scars, and glory lasts forever.
It would ruin everything, dude. Because, like, could you imagine, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean, like, soundtrack?
You'll never be able to hear any music again, ever. Yeah, everything for the rest of your life is going to sound generic. That's a mental torture. I'm not going to have somebody get mentally tortured just so I can be physically discomfort for every 3 years. I'm just, like, I'm putting myself on the other side of that.
Yeah. Although I do not want my collarbones broken.
There are way worse things you can break. Way worse things. Way worse, dude. So.
All right. Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Okay. That's fine. Break my collarbones. I'm good. All right. Let's do this one. At long last, somebody invents the Dream Vcr. This machine allows you to tape an entire evening's worth of your own dreams, which you can then watch at your leisure. However, this is going to be, every one of these is going to have a however. The inventor of the Dream VCR will only allow you to use this device if you agree to a strange caveat. When you watch your dreams, you must do so with your family and your closest friends in the same room. They get to watch your dreams along with you. And if you don't agree to this, you can't use the Dream VCR. Would you still do this?
That is a nightmare VCR, first off. And yes, I would still fucking use it.
Just remember, closest friends, and you and I are very close.
Right.
So we're going to be watching each other's dreams.
We already know there's probably going to be some fucked up shit in there, but it's not going to be an every night occurrence.
No. I don't remember my dreams a lot of the times anyway. So it'd be interesting to see what I'm dreaming about.
Right. You'd be like, was that a camel? Yeah, I don't know.
So I have a couple of recurring dreams that I would actually, like, I would do this just so I could have people watch my recurring dreams. There's two specifically I have all the time. In one of them, I'm visiting a house, and it's the same house every time. I don't know what this house is, where it is. Like, it's a very nice house. slight details about it change every time, but in my head I know I'm in the same house and I'm living there. It's a nice house and I want to see this house. I have another recurring dream where I find this haunted shack that's like built like a tower. Like it's a tall wooden shack. It's on a hill and it's always in a different geographical location where I'm driving to it, where in my brain I'm in New Jersey or I'm in Florida or I'm in Pennsylvania or somewhere else. But I always go and I always visit the same shack. I know it's extremely haunted and very dangerous. I get inside, but I never make it past the first floor, although I don't see anything. I want to see that dream in person. Those are two recurring dreams I've had for years, and I want to see where they go.
I've only had one reoccurring dream, and it's so fucking wild. Like, I am running through a desert into this, like, city, but the city is like, think of the buildings in Aladdin.
Okay.
And the entire city is sinking into the sand. And I run into a building and with enough time to close the door as the entire city sinks underneath the sand. And I'm just stuck in this house.
That'd be interesting to watch, actually.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I don't know. I always get like Prince of Persia vibes from it. But I never understood why that keeps happening.
I mean, I've had recurring dreams like.
Also, I hate deserts, so it's more of a nightmare.
There you go.
I hate sand.
I hate sand. I was waiting for that. I've had recurring nightmares about tornadoes because I've been fascinated with them since I was little. So I've always had like these dreams where I'm seeing them in front of me or they're out in the distance or whatever. I just want to kind of see that collection. Of course, I've seen one in real life, and that was not cool because it went over my apartment at Vista Way. And people are like, oh, you finally got to see one. I'm like, yeah, no, I want to see one on a cornfield in Kansas, ravaging nothing. Not over the place where I am living. That is not how I wanted that to go down. And then it touched down at the Chick-fil-A.
Did it really?
Mm-hmm. Oh. You know the Chick-fil-A is right around the corner from Vista.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where it hit.
Oh,
because there was another safari driver who was over there when it came down. They're like, oh, we got to go. Now. So there you go. All right. So we're in agreement. We would watch our dreams with our friends and family.
Yes.
Okay. Defying all expectation, a group of Scottish marine biologists capture a live Loch Ness monster. I'm already on board. In an almost unbelievable coincidence, a bear hunter shoots a Sasquatch in the thigh, thereby allowing zoologists to take the furry monster into captivity. These events happen on the same afternoon. That evening, the president announces he may have thyroid cancer and will undergo a biopsy later that week. You are the front page editor of the New York Times. What do you play as the biggest story?
Loch Ness Monster.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Thyroid cancer is treatable.
Yeah.
And that really sucks that the president's got to undergo that. But it's like, not. But it's just going to be a biopsy. It's not like he's resigning or he's dying or it's terminal. He's just going to have a biopsy. 2 potential mythical creatures being discovered is a big deal, and will change changes our understanding of biology.
And the reason I would pick the Loch Ness Monster over Sasquatch is because there was no injuries involved with the Loch Ness Monster.
Well, yeah, but I think the whole idea is that you can write them as the same story. So I don't think you have to choose between those two.
That is true.
Yeah, no. Mythical creatures no longer being mythical is a much bigger deal than, oh, yeah. I may have cancer and I need a biopsy. Okay.
It's on the news. Which one's more important? dragons are real, or the president was caught cheating. Yeah,
Yeah,
dragons are
exactly.
real.
Good God. We've had 2 presidents in our lifetime that were cheating. One happened while he was in office. So
I think they both happened while they were in office.
so I'm just saying that's not news. Yeah. Let's go with let's go with Nessie and Bigfoot. I want to know where Sasquatch got captured, first of all. Was it the Pacific Northwest or was it friggin' Vernon? Because I'd believe it in Vernon. Shout out to my buddy Chris Kubik, who I hope is watching this. But there was a plane that crashed in Hardiston. Granted, it was one of those small single-engine planes, but they didn't find it for like 6 weeks. And he goes, what does that tell you about how friggin' dense the woods are in North Jersey that a plane crashed and nobody found it for over a month? So we had a big laugh about that. People don't understand. Where I grew up in New Jersey was wooded, country, isolated, rural area. Because everybody thinks of New Jersey as this urbanized area with smokestacks and everything, or they think of the shore. Like, no. Nah, dude.
Yeah,
The couple of people who've seen my hometown, you ever come visit me, dude, I'll drive you up there and
they
just
were
show
purposely
you.
looking for a plane and couldn't find it. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, for like 6 weeks. That tells you everything you need to know. All right, here we go. You meet the perfect person. Romantically, this person is ideal. You find them physically attractive, intellectually stimulating, consistently funny, and deeply compassionate. However, they have one quirk. This individual is obsessed with Jim Henson's gothic puppet fantasy, The Dark Crystal. Beyond watching it on DVD at least once a month, he or she peppers casual conversation with Dark Crystal references, uses Dark Crystal analogies to explain everyday events, and occasionally likes to talk intensively about the film's deeper philosophy. Would this be enough to stop you from marrying this individual?
No,
Yeah, hell no.
no, not
Hell
at all.
no. Okay. It doesn't have to be Dark Crystal. It could be literally anything. It could be Star Wars, Harry Potter, even Twilight. I don't care.
If you're passionate about something, at least you're passionate about something.
I would rather surround myself with people who are passionate about things than these people who always pull the whole, oh, here I am, not watching the football game. Ha ha ha. Like, I'm not a big football fan, but that's annoying as hell.
Right. But like now if you were to change it and it was like Schindler's List references all the time, I'm like,
well, yeah,
I love you, but we can't go out in public.
But I think that's also the point too, right? Involving the Dark Crystal is like, there are so many worse things that somebody could be obsessed with. And this is it's just a movie, and it's a harmless movie.
Right.
So yeah, no, that wouldn't prevent me. You know what? I'd probably get into it with them. I'd probably end up watching it with them and be like, hey, you're passionate about this. All right, well, here's the trade-off. I use Simpson quotes in everyday conversation, so watch Simpsons with me. And I'll watch Dark Crystal with you, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, no, that is no reason to not marry somebody.
No. Kudos to them for being passionate about something, because, God, I'm tired of people. I hate apathy. Everybody's apathetic about something. Like, no, I don't care about that. I don't care about this. I don't want to do that. Like, no. This person sounds like they're full of life. They just happen to have a quirk. Like any of us don't have quirks.
Right?
Real here.
I'm not obsessed with Star Wars or
at all. Ball. As I'm looking at the wall behind you.
Literally, that's everything that's in my room right now.
Exactly. Yep, no issue whatsoever. Okay, very good. A novel titled Interior Mirror is released to mammoth commercial success despite middling reviews. However, a curious social thread emerges. Though no one can prove a direct scientific link, it appears that almost 30% of the people who read this book immediately become homosexual. Many of the newfound homosexuals credit the book for helping them reach this conclusion about their orientation, despite the fact that Interior Mirror is ostensibly a crime novel with no homoerotic content and was written by a straight man. Would this phenomenon increase or decrease the likelihood of you reading this book?
I would need to know why. Like, First off, I'm not a big book reader.
So a book that could
But
turn you gay ain't gonna do it for you then.
the but here's the thing. That made it interesting enough for me to be like, what is in this book that people are just like, oh, thank you. This made me realize I'm gay.
So here's the thing. We all know that homosexuality is not a choice.
Correct.
Something you're born with. So if it was gonna happen, it's gonna come out at some point. So why not just read the book and come to terms with yourself? I wouldn't be afraid to read it. Because I don't think it would change me.
I don't think it would change me either. But I'd be
I'll
interested. I like literally that's a high turnover rate. Like, what's in this book?
Well, 30% isn't that high. 70% of the people aren't affected.
Or
Well, let's break it down a little bit more. How many of them were girls and how many of them were guys? Because that could also be a factor too. It just said 30% of people. It didn't say men or women. Even if you break that down in half, that's only 15% being men.
but that's true. But still 30% of people are reporting it. So you have to think of the people who are not reporting it, that it actually still happened.
Well, it sounds like they're pretty comfortable reporting it. So here's the thing.
It's just like
I
saying,
wouldn't be afraid to read the book for that reason. But as a crime drama, I don't really know if I'd be that interested in it to begin with.
Crime drama is not something that
That's
I would
not
read anyway.
a big thing for me anyway. So,
but like the 30%, you gotta figure out like that's a lot bigger of a number than you like what you think. Like, imagine if 30% of the people who lived in Manhattan all of a sudden just became gay.
you know, keep the population control.
Oh Jesus! All right.
Hey, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't be afraid though. I'll be candid with everybody on this show. I've thought about it if it was ever going to be a possibility for me, and concluded it wasn't. Honest truth.
Oh, I thought maybe it could be gay.
Every single person's thought about it, and you're lying if you haven't. Let's be real. At the end of the day, I'm not attracted to the male appendages. I'm not going to start, and I don't think reading a book is going to make me start being like, oh yes, that's the thing for me. Because I'm perfectly comfortable saying another guy's attractive or not. I say it all the time. The cast of Marvel is like friggin' candy for these women, and I get it. I totally get it. They're good-looking guys. I don't think a book's going to turn me gay. And I don't think the odds are... If it was 70%, that might be a little different. But it's 30, so... Not going to scare me.
But to answer, nah, it doesn't sound like an interesting book.
It's just a crime drama. Like, I need to know a little bit more about the plot before I'm even going to read it. Because I do like to read, but I'm very careful about the things I read. There were 2 books very recently that I read on full recommendations from other people out of sheer curiosity. One of them was called Twilight. We all know how that worked out. Not a good book. The other was called Ready Player One. My favorite book ever written, ever. So, you know.
You're telling me you didn't like Jasper?
Actually, I did like Jasper. Actually, when it comes to Twilight, I like most of the characters except for 2.
The main 2?
The 2 I have a problem with are the 2 the story's built around. So, there you go. That one was actually pretty interesting. I like that one. All right. This is the opening line of J. McInerney's... Oh, God, I'm going to botch that. McInerney's? Opening line of J. McInerney's Bright Lights, Big City. You are not the kind of guy who would be in a place like this at this time in the morning. Think about the line and context of the novel, assuming you've read it. Now go to your CD collection and find Heart's Little Queen album, assuming you own it. Listening to the opening riff of Barracuda, which of these two introductions is a higher form of art? Good God. Okay. So either a line from a novel or a riff from a band. What's a higher form of art? I think that depends on your personal point of view. Whether you're more inclined with words or more inclined with music. While I 100% respect the art of music, I think the art of written literature is more difficult. Because I think it's easier to teach somebody how to write music and how to learn music. I think that's a more general skill that can be taught than can ever be taught to formulate words into a compelling story. So I'm going to choose the writing over the music. My opinion only. And that's not any shot at music or the art of music or anything like that. I just think that it's a more challenging thing. And that comes from me trying to write a book and also self-teaching myself piano.
You wouldn't have the lyrics if it wasn't written down.
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah, I think written is definitely the way to go. Although, it really depends on how it hits you, right? Like, if you are a bigger music person and a certain line hits you harder than, like, I don't know of any famous writers, but, like, let's say, oh man, who's the
James Hetfield.
Okay, we're talking about deep though. I love James Hetfield, but like, I don't think he's gonna touch the soul. You know what I mean?
Eminem.
Eminem's lyrics.
Eminem writes some pretty deep lyrics.
Yeah, he does. But like,
Chad Kroeger.
I'm just trying to think of like an impactful written word.
Never made it as a wise man. I couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. Tired of living like a blind man. Come on.
I'm thinking
Freddie
of
Mercury
books, not song lyrics. Now I'm talking about like written books where something has impacted me. But like, yeah, no, everything has been songs so far. So the words are important. The written words are important, and it definitely is harder.
Well, you could also replace those examples with anything. What about like a line from Albus Dumbledore? There comes a time when we must choose between what is right and what is easy. Versus the guitar solo from One by Metallica. Like, I'm still choosing the words over the music.
Yeah.
You can put anything you want in there. Bohemian Rhapsody. What do we all know about Bohemian Rhapsody? The music's good, but what do we all remember? The lyrics. It's a literal written poem. It's a play, basically. It's an opera.
Great play.
Fantastic. So yeah, I think the written word wins, and without knowing the context of Bright Lights Big City, because I've never read it. Obviously, I know Barracuda. Everybody knows that song, but like, I have to go with the written word. I just think that I taught myself piano at a younger age, and while I don't have a keyboard anymore, and I wouldn't be able to do it now, I was getting pretty decent without ever taking a lesson. But trying to become a published author proves to be very challenging for me because I'm trying very hard to put those words on paper, because the story's all up here, and translating it is proving to be very difficult. So I have a lot of respect for these writers who can convey these thoughts and really make an impact on me.
Have you thought about just turning those into screenplays? I feel
Yes.
like it'd be a lot easier for you.
Yes, but I really want to be a published author. That's more of a goal. Movie making would be great.
You could publish it though. No, like take the screenplay and then just publish that screenplay. You can get there's like somebody was telling me about it. There are books out there that never made it into book format. They just turned out as screenplays. and they're very entertaining because if you already know how a screenplay is like written, you can skip a lot of the non like bullshit and just go straight to the dialogue and what the actual story is going on. I
Sure.
would check that out.
Well, here's what I actually want to do. I want to just get the story written and then go back and polish it. That's actually what I've been more focusing on. Getting the bulk of the story out there, even if it's a short story, and then going back and polishing it and expanding it and putting description and stuff in. That way, I think that would be an easier way to go, but still something I'm trying to work on. You're watching a movie in a crowded theater. I can relate. Though the plot is mediocre, you find yourself dazzled by the special effects. But with 20 minutes left in the film, you are struck with this undeniable feeling of doom. You are suddenly certain your mother has just died. There's no logical reason for this to be true, but you are certain of it. You are overtaken with the irrational, metaphysical sense that somewhere your mom has just perished. This is only an intuitive, amorphous feeling. There's no evidence of this, and your mother has not been ill. Would you immediately exit the theater, or would you finish watching the movie?
I would immediately leave the fucking theater.
Yes, me too.
I, I
I
yeah.
trust my gut. I'm not going to get into any personal stories here, but the last time I had that kind of impending feeling of doom, something bad did happen.
Right. And it may not be what you thought it was, but something clearly happened.
There's only 20 minutes left in the movie. I can catch it another time.
Right.
I'm convinced something bad happened. I'm getting out of there.
So far, we're like on the same page with everything.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
So this actually did happen. My sister told me this story. When our great aunt passed away, she was literally driving home from her job, and suddenly this thought hit her head, like, I wonder if she's still alive. It just came out of nowhere. Just this random thought came into her head. Our great aunt died that night. And she told me that, and that's resonated with me, and that's been, like, I keep that in mind all the time. The last time I had a really bad, imposing sense of doom, a friend of mine passed away. I was like, something just feels wrong. And I couldn't really explain it, and then I found out that somebody I knew and cared about passed away. I won't go into any more details than that, but I had that sense of doom. So, yeah, I'm trusting my gut instinct because it's never steered me wrong. All right. You meet a wizard in downtown Chicago. Very specific. I like that. The wizard tells you he can make you more attractive if you pay him money. When you ask how this process works, the wizard points to a random person on the street. You look at this random person. The wizard says, I will now make them $1 more attractive. He waves his magic wand. Ostensibly, the person does not change at all. As far as you can tell, nothing is different, but somehow this person is suddenly a little more appealing. The tangible difference is invisible to the naked eye, but you can't deny that this person is vaguely sexier. The wizard has a weird rule that you can only pay him once. You can't keep paying, giving him money until you're satisfied. You can only pay him one lump sum up front. How much cash do you give the wizard?
All the cash I have on hand.
Chris Decker and I had this discussion when we were at his house, and we both agreed on $20.
$20?
Yeah. $1 more attractive, and it's noticeable? All right, well, here's 20. Do it. And let's just see what happens.
Yeah, anything that I have on hand.
Okay, that one was easy.
My withdrawal limit's what, $300? So
well, I don't want to go nuts. I don't want there to be a crazy infatuation. Remember that episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer when Xander makes himself desirable and women are literally beating them over themselves to get at him?
No, I want that level.
Oh, okay, have fun. Every person you have ever slept with is invited to a banquet where you are the guest of honor. No one will be in attendance except for you, the collection of former lovers, and the catering service. After the meal, you are asked to give a 15-minute speech to the assembly. What do you talk about?
How about them Yankees, right? No, I honestly would not attend.
Oh no, you're gonna be there.
I don't like giving speeches to begin with, and now I got to give a speech to former lovers. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I would have anything
This isn't everybody
nice.
you dated. These are people you slept with.
Okay, so that like narrows it down a little bit.
Because I didn't
But
sleep with everybody I ever dated.
I mean, neither did I, but I did a lot.
Well, it would be an interesting assembly, first off. There would be people in the room who would not get along. I can tell you that much.
Guaranteed,
Can
there
say
would be
that
people
much.
in that room that would not get along.
Yeah.
There, like, there'd be. I I don't want to mention any names.
Please don't.
Yeah, no. There'd at least be two people from Inno.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me off air.
You know both of them.
I can guess one. I'm not 100% sure on the other.
Um, and then like a handful of people from Fantasyland. So I guess my speech would be, guess no one's operating any attractions this evening.
So here's the thing about this question for me. I've told this story before. I'm not going to go into details. One of the girls on my list has died. So I'm not participating in this stipulation if they literally mean everybody. Because that's a little too much for me. And it's a very sad story. Came out of nowhere. No foul play. Just one of those things that happened. Took a nap, never woke up. So, but I mean, I've always been very honest and open about my history. So it's not like any of them would be a secret. But there's a couple of loose cannons in there that I wouldn't want. Specifically an early one who I'm convinced would have murdered me in my sleep. Because the breakup was bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
The actual relationships themselves weren't bad in general, but the breakups were.
Breakups were bad. Yeah. So yeah, let's so what would we talk about? You know what? Honestly, for a 15-minute speech, I would purposely try to be entertaining and crowd pleasing as possible just to avoid tension. That's all I would probably do. What would I talk about? Whatever I want to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. We're nearing. We're not at the end yet, but we got a couple more here. That was only number 13. There's more. I don't want to go too crazy on time here. I want to save some stuff, but for reasons that cannot be explained, cats can suddenly read at a 12th grade level. They can't talk and they can't write, but they can read silently and comprehend the text. Many cats love the new skill because they now have something to do all day while they lay around the house. However, a few cats become depressed because reading forces them to realize the limitations of their existence, not to mention utter frustration of being unable to express themselves. This being the case, do you think the average cat would enjoy Garfield, or would cats find the cartoon to be insulting caricature?
Oof. Both.
Yes. I think Perry would be thoroughly entertained by Garfield because he would relate. Because even though
That
he's
would be
not fat, he's lazy and he loves his food.
that's Kitty. Yep.
Lily
Uh,
would find Garfield as an appalling insult to females or felines the world over. Lily would be disgusted by Garfield's mere existence.
I guess both my cats would be like literally fat and lazy, so I guess they would like Garfield.
All right. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, if you can read at a 12th grade level, you're not going to be enjoying Garfield.
If
Like,
my cats could read on a 12th grade level, they're already reading better than I can. First off.
now at that point, I'm going to give them Ready Player One and Harry Potter and just tell them to have fun.
I'd be like, okay, so what's your ruling on this? Like,
Well, they can't express themselves, which is frustrating, but they can read. So, well, I mean, there's other ways cats can express themselves.
yeah, by terrorizing all your stuff and
I
eating
mean,
your shoe.
Lily would I would just put the book. I would actually, they can read, right? So I would write messages to them. Like let's look at the implication there. You can write messages to your cats and communicate better with them. So I would be writing down messages and be like, if you don't like this book, let me know by scratching it, and I will get rid of it. If you like this book, keep it pristine, and I'll get you more like this. There you go. That's one way to communicate.
Now, with that said, which Harry Potter book would she scratch?
Obviously, Chamber of Secrets. It's the worst one. Everybody knows that. Okay. You have a brain tumor. Though there is no discomfort at the moment, the tumor would unquestionably kill you in 6 months. However, your life can and will be saved by an operation. There is only one downside: that the brutal incision to your frontal lobe. After the surgery, you will be significantly less intelligent. You'll be a fully functional adult. Somebody just airdropped me a picture, and that killed the text I was reading. So let's try that again. You'll be a fully functional adult, but you will be less logical, you will have a terrible memory, and you will have little ability to understand complex concepts of difficult ideas. The surgery is in 2 weeks. How do you spend the next 14 days? Well, I want to live. This is going to be an unfortunate turnabout. So you know what I would do?
A bucket list?
No, not even that. I would make a video to myself explaining the situation and basically teaching myself all the things that I think I'm going to lose out on. That's what I would do. I would literally spend all 14 days making myself videos to watch after the surgery to remind myself of what I was.
Oof, I don't know if I could do that. I would think as long as I could still enjoy the things that I enjoy, I don't care.
Well,
Like,
take a line from Big Bang Theory. They've said before from the scientific community, this is a real thing, that less intelligent people handle emotions better because they don't overprocess everything. And I have a bad habit of being an overthinker. I always have been. If I lose that ability, I might be a much happier person, to be honest. Because I'd probably be living in the moment at that point. Because I wouldn't be concerning myself with complex things. And I probably wouldn't remember bad things. So I'd probably be a much happier functional adult, honestly.
See, all my things are very fucking complex. Like, all the stuff that I love is so complex.
Video
games.
Like,
it's not just the video games, but like, let's look at the things that I love to do. I love to build things.
Right.
So
you won't be building any more PCs.
Yeah. Does that mean I won't be building computers anymore, which means I won't be working where I work right now? I can't build a car then. I can't build a motorcycle. I can't, like, all the mechanical stuff in my head is just gone.
Yeah.
That only leaves video games. And then what do I do for a living?
I mean, but here's the thing. Would you even be concerned about what you do for a living? You'd probably just take a job that was fun. Like,
If they
that
would
sounds
hire
fun.
me,
I want to do that. And then you'd probably do it and be happy doing it.
I guess.
You don't know what you're going to be like after the surgery. But
That's
the
true.
but the other option is to die in 6 months. So is that what you want to do instead? Would you take that sacrifice, you know?
I would go with the surgery. I feel like this is one of those, and it's going to sound so fucked up. It's This should be a post decision. Like, you get to, after the surgery, 2 years later, they ask you, what do you think?
Put that in the video that I make to myself. All right.
Because, like, it really depends, man. Like, if I come back and I lost, like, only half of what I thought I was going to lose, but I can still, like, PCs is probably like the big one for me, man. Like, if I lost building PCs, that's fine, but I need to be able to make other things. Like, I'd go back to motorcycles or mechanics. If I lose motorcycle mechanics, but I get to keep PCs, not that big of a loss. I really haven't built anything in a long time. So then it'd almost be like, oh, cool, I didn't lose anything. So it really depends. So that one's a toughie.
It
Like,
is.
I'd go wishing that, not like, I would just be that's something you pray. Like, please.
Well, you don't know what's going to come out on the other side, so.
Yeah.
All right. This does go past 20, but let's get up to 20 and then we'll wrap up. So we
All
did
right.
20 philosophical questions. So this is number 16, so we'll do 5 more. Someone builds an optical portal that allows you to see a vision of your own life in the future. Essentially a crystal ball that shows you a randomly selected image of what your life will be like in 20 years. You can only see into this portal for 30 seconds. When you peer into the crystal, you see yourself in a living room, 2 decades older than you are today. You're watching Canadian football game. You are extremely happy. You're wearing a CFL jersey. Your chair is surrounded by CFL books and magazines that promote the Canadian Football League. And there are CFL pennants covering your walls. You're alone in the room, but you're gleefully muttering about historical moments in Canadian football history. It becomes clear that for some unknown reason, you have become obsessed with Canadian football. This future is static and absolute. No matter what you do, this future will happen. The optical portal is never wrong. The destiny cannot be changed. The next day, you're flipping through the television channels and randomly come across a preseason CFL game between the Toronto Argonauts and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Knowing your inevitable future, do you now watch it?
Yes.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be fucked up that the reason it happened is because you looked into your future?
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, but you know what?
You were happy.
Can I look at this in a more optical way because of the last question we just did? I'm going to live for another 20 years and I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
And if that means I'm going to become a Canadian, if Canadian Football League is what gets me there, great. Just because I'm alone in the living room doesn't mean a damn thing. It doesn't mean I don't have a family or friends. It just means that in that moment I was watching it by myself. So yeah, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to be passionate about something. There you go. I'll watch Canadian football and she'll watch The Dark Crystal. See, I can bring that back. You are sitting in an empty bar in a town you've never visited before, drinking Bacardi with a soft-spoken acquaintance you barely know. After an hour, a third individual walks into the tavern and sits by himself, and you ask your acquaintance who the man is. Be careful of this guy, you are told. He's a man with a past. A few minutes later, a fourth person enters the bar. He also sits alone. You ask your acquaintance who this new individual is. Be careful of that guy too, he says. He is a man with no past. Which of these two people do you trust less? The man with a past or the man with no past? That's an interesting question. Who do you trust less?
The acquaintance that's telling me this information. Everyone has a past, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I would trust the person with the past more than someone who doesn't have a past because he's hiding something still. And that when you tend to hide stuff, people tend to look for things, and
Right.
they're gonna find something, and that's when everything is gonna get broken loose. If you find out like this guy did time for, manslaughter or whatever, yeah, he has a past. That was his past. He's not continuing to do these things. This person who has no past has probably done the same exact thing and hasn't been convicted and is on the run. You do not want to be there when shit hits the fan.
It's better to deal with the devil you know than the one you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that can be true. You know what you're in for. That could be way worse. And here's the other thing. You kind of mentioned something I was thinking about. It's an acquaintance you don't really know that well, so you don't know what they consider to be a past. You kind of hinted at that with your answer. A past could be that their past hurt them personally, but wouldn't affect you. So maybe I don't have an issue trusting him. But the guy with no history that I can't read, that's a little more dangerous to me. And I'm not always the best at reading people's emotions and things like that. But given the opportunity here, I'm not going to take the risk. So, okay.
Yeah.
You have won a prize. The prize has two options, and you can choose either, but not both. The first option is a year in Europe with a monthly stipend of $2,000. The second is 10 minutes on the moon. Which option do you select?
So a year in Europe with $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm. Or you can say you've been to the moon.
I could already say that I've been to the moon. whether that makes it true or not. See, that's the other fucked up part. If I take the moon trip and tell people, yeah, I've been to the moon, no one's gonna fucking believe me. I'm taking the Europe trip with the $2,000 a month.
Same, because I would have the ability to see pretty much all of Europe.
Yeah.
And right now, as we're recording this, the euro and the dollar are equal for the first time in a long time. So that 2,000 is going to get me just as far.
Yeah.
And
Plus for an entire year, I mean.
And I've been to Europe. Train tickets are not that bad. Now, $2,000 is not a lot to live off of per month.
No, it's not. But that's extra on top of whatever you would be doing if you to go to Europe and do something over there.
Yeah. You just have to be smart about your money, that's all. Okay. Your best friend is taking a nap on the floor of your living room. Suddenly, you're faced with a bizarre existential problem. This friend is going to die unless you kick them as hard as you can in the rib cage. If you don't kick them while they slumber, they will never wake up. However, you can never explain this to your friend. If you later inform them that you did this to save your life, or save their life, they will also die from that. So you have to kick a sleeping friend in the ribs and you can't tell them why. Since you cannot tell your friend the truth, what excuse will you fabricate to explain the seemingly inexplicable attack? So you're sleeping on my floor and I need to kick you in the ribs, or you're going to die. And I can't tell you that.
I think I'd take the L and just be like, shit, my bad. I completely forgot you were on the fucking floor.
I would tell you that there was this big-ass spider. It was a big ass spider, and I needed to get rid of it. Oh, I thought I saw a spider. You all right? Sorry about that.
Just you imagine you just wake up, you see me, and like, and that's for your cat eating my shoe.
Oh, God damn it. All right. Jeez. It was like 10 years ago. That would be really funny, though. Yeah, well, I got a layer, so good luck getting to the ribs. Kick to your heart's content, whatever. All right, let's do one more. For whatever the reason, 2 unauthorized movies are made about your life. The first is an independently released documentary, primarily comprised of interviews with people who know you and bootleg footage from your actual life. Critics are describing the documentary as brutally honest and relentlessly fair. Meanwhile, the Columbia TriStar has produced a big-budget biopic about your life, casting major Hollywood stars as you and all your acquaintances. Though the movie is based on actual events, screenwriters have taken liberties with the facts. Critics are split on the artistic merits of this fictionalized account, but audiences love it. Which film would you be more interested in seeing?
The fictional one.
Yeah, because I want to know what they got wrong.
Yeah.
And I want to know how they sensationalize stuff.
Right. Also, am I getting like royalties from this? Because I'm a little upset.
Well, they said they were unauthorized, but I'm sure somewhere you can work that out. But yeah. I mean, bootleg footage from my actual life wouldn't be very interesting.
It'd be almost near impossible to get anything. Did I tell you that like once I turned like 13 or 14, I took every single picture of me and burnt it?
No, I did not hear that.
Yes, I was going through a really bad like goth emo phase, like fishnet stockings, the collar and all that, like uh, black gloves, black everything, and I didn't want pictures of me at all, so I found a binder of like all these pictures like of childhood me, and I just lit up a trash can and tossed it in there.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, I don't think I
bunch of
ever saw
memories
that.
that will never get restored.
Yeah, thank God for digital photographs these days. Can't
Right?
just burn those. You can delete them, but yeah, damn, I did not know that.
It was rough. I don't know why I was so angry. Then because I lived in Florida.
I don't know. Why are we angry now?
I'm not angry now.
I am.
I mean, I get angry every once in a while because it's fucking heat.
Yeah, heat does make me angry. Oh yeah, great idea. I'm angry and I don't like heat, so I'm gonna burn these pictures.
Well, yeah, I didn't say it was smart. I just said it was something I did.
Somewhere I think I still have them. I do have like an envelope full of pictures, like childhood pictures of me somewhere in here. I think they're in a bin. Part of my big like cleanup and everything in the house and getting rid of a bunch of stuff. I'm probably gonna do something with them. I think I do have them all scanned on the computer anyway, so I might do something with them. But yeah, no, like yeah, I think the fictionalized story of my life is gonna be more interesting anyway, because fictionalized stories are just more interesting than documentaries, and that's coming from somebody who loves documentaries. But the fictionalized telling would be fun to see. It'd be fun to see who's playing who in my life, who they cast as you, who they cast as my mom, you know, who they cast as my boss, like who they cast as the people on the Disney ride that we abuse, not physically, but you know, just with our fun. Who plays the Asian couple when you put them on the robo and you tell them that an baby elephant's gonna jump up, punch him in the face. Like,
Baby elephant's gonna come out and punch you right in the fucking face.
I want to know. First of all, I want to know which parts of my life they chose to feature, why they chose to feature them, and how they chose to feature them. Yeah, of course they're gonna take liberties. Every single biopic does. But if it's entertaining, it's making money and it's making people happy, and it's making me money, great. Have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, I know the real story. And because I heard this once, this is actually kind of a good note to conclude this whole thing on. I heard this once as something that will truly resonate with me. Nobody on this planet, literally nobody, including your parents, your most significant people in your life, will ever truly know you, because there's just no way for them to know what's going on in your head. Every single person on the planet has a fictionalized version of you that's not you. And there's two ways you can handle that. You can learn to deal with it, knowing the true story, and let stuff go, or you can let it drive you nuts. And there are plenty of people who have a fictionalized version of me, and I'm not happy about what they think, but I have to let that stuff go. Bottom line.
Yeah, I stopped caring a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think I know you pretty well, but I don't know you. Because I'm sure there's lots of things you don't know about me and I don't know about you. That's just how it's going to be.
That's true, but I mean, you know me pretty well.
I think so. We've always been pretty open and honest with each other. Like, dude, we've been friends for so long and we've like never even had an actual fight. Like, and friends get into fights, but we've never actually had a fight that I can think of. Like, I can't remember any time I've ever been like pissed off at you.
Yeah, you know, you're right. I think the only time that we got close was on the drive to Paul's.
Oh yeah, because you were threatening my very existence.
I was like, hey, we're in a vehicle that's known to break down.
That wasn't a fight, though. That was Eric. Shut up. Eric, don't talk. Don't curse what's about to happen. No, we've never gotten into a fight about anything. I've had a couple of friends I've never like actually fought with.
You know, a lot of people think that I'm very confrontational, but I'm not. I'm not at all. But I'm not allowed to not allowed. I'm not about to let people walk over me or my friends either. So
well, no, I feel the same way.
It's one of those things.
I avoid confrontation when possible because to me it's not worth my time and energy. But I will defend myself and I will defend anybody who I truly care about. If somebody comes at them, they're coming at me. I've always been very fiercely loyal to my friends, and I know that can even be like a detriment because I've made a very bad habit of putting people's emotions before mine, and there are times when you have to be selfish and take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, how can you take care of everybody else? But I don't let people say things about my friends that are false. I don't let people walk on my friends. I don't let people take advantage of them, and I never will. And I hope that people feel that way about me, the people who truly care about me. So, but yeah, I think that was a good one to wrap on. That was fun. I like those.
Yeah, that was cool.
I want more of those. There are a couple more on the list. I wanted to stop at a good number before we got too late here. Also, I'm hungry, so and I want to eat. But yeah, no, that was fun. Check us out on the podcast, CKCC Radio, wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and check out the streams on CKCC Online on Twitch. Check out Sick Minds of Matt and Eric on YouTube. And yeah, and buy a t-shirt. Redbubble store, shop CKCC. I sold my first t-shirt, and I'm excited about it. So hopefully I'll sell another one. Gotta love that.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Well, I'll save it for the next episode, but I'll say it now to give you time to think about it.
Oh, good. So I have a week to think about it. Fantastic. Go ahead.
You got a time machine. You're allowed to go in one direction, but it has, for whatever reason, forward is not an option. So you have to go back. You have to, no matter what. How far back do you go, knowing that you can't go forward?
Okay. We'll do that one next time. That's a good one. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for supporting us. Keep supporting us. Keep checking us out every Sunday night. Unless we tell you otherwise. Any last words?
Be excellent to one another.